Many people are intimidated by the idea of cooking a whole leg of lamb with the bone in, but where I come from, whole roasted leg of lamb is the celebratory roast of choice. So when I want to make a big meal to feed a little crowd and bring the wow factor, I make my meltingly tender oven roasted leg of lamb. You're in for a treat. And we are working with bone in leg of lamb, and this is typically about 4 to 5 pounds. This is how it's actually sold at the butchers. You know, we're not gonna do a whole lot else to it other than give it the best ever seasoning. I'm gonna turn my broiler on. One big tip about a big piece of meat like this, a big tip about a big piece of meat, you know, take it out of the fridge about 30 minutes to an hour before you need to stick it in. This really kind of helps cook it evenly. The first thing we want to do here is make a few slits on both sides of the lamb. All you're doing is kind of just cutting a nice deeper slit, and we're gonna do that on both sides. And this is one of those meals that kind of creates a big centerpiece, so you just need to stick with me because you're gonna see how delicious it looks in the end. First, we're going to give the meat a nice good seasoning of kosher salt, and you can even do this bit one night ahead and leave it in the fridge that way, and black pepper. It's a big piece of meat. I said 4 to 5 pounds, so don't be shy with the seasoning. Open up the slits, insert the salt and pepper in. And whatever you do on one side of the lamb, you do to the other side. The first step of cooking this beautiful piece of meat is to sear it and give it that beautiful color. So we're gonna stick it under the broiler for 5 to 7 minutes on either side. Okay, I think probably the top side is done at this point, so let's see. Oh yeah. That looks lovely. And turn it over. Back to the oven. I would say maybe just 5 minutes, so just keep a good eye on it. Smoky, but good. We're gonna take it out, let it sit for just a sec. Let's work on the rub. We just need the lamb to be cool enough to handle because we're gonna rub it with this beautiful wet rub here. And that includes 15 garlic cloves right here, so it's going in my food processor. And then we have about 2 tablespoons of dried oregano, about 2 tablespoons of mint. If you don't have fresh mint, dried mint is fine. And then sweet paprika. And then we have nutmeg. See, the thing about lamb, a lot of people are intimidated by it because they're unsure how to season it. And lamb, because it's somewhat gamey and very flavorful, it really does require some bold seasonings to stand up to it and really infuse it with flavor. So that's why we're making this beautiful rub. So we're gonna use 2 lemons. We're gonna juice them right in here. Like I said, this is the celebratory roast. So we're gonna give it all the TLC we can, right? All right, juice of 2 lemons. I love a handy little food processor for these sorts of things. I make rubs, marinades, all sorts of flavor makers in this food processor. And then we're gonna go ahead and add a good bit of some good extra virgin olive oil. Let's not be shy because we need the olive oil to help carry the flavors. And you have a nice big hunk of meat that needs to be covered with this rub. So go ahead and blend. Let's see. Oh yeah, this is perfect. This is what we're looking for here. It's a garlic rub. We're gonna cover the lamb now and it's ready for me. So I'm gonna set this aside for just a second here. Ta-da! You thought you had enough garlic? I'm telling you what, you need to insert more garlic right in those crevices. Totally optional though. If you feel like, you know what, I've got it, the rub's got enough, that's fine too. Now we're gonna go ahead and add this gorgeous rub all over the lamb. Truthfully, there's loads of flavor here. And when cooking lamb in the oven, you have a couple of options. Either you wanted it like at medium or super tender, meltingly tender fall apart. Where I come from, melting leaf tender and fall apart is the deal. I like my lamb medium, but I think most people prefer it really well done so that it just falls off the bone. So that's what we're gonna do here. We're gonna do the slow roasted method where you put this lamb in the oven and you forget about it for a few hours. So at this point in time, I'm gonna add a little water to the pan. I'm gonna cover it, put it in the oven at 325 degrees. Probably won't bother looking at it for 2 to 3 hours. All right, for my veggies, we're gonna keep it simple. We're just doing potatoes and onions. The onions are already cut into wedges. We're gonna cut the potatoes into wedges, nice and large. Whatever you arrive at is probably gonna be just fine. When the meat is nearly done, we're gonna be adding our seasoned veggies kind of around it. So our lamb is the centerpiece and the veggies around it is gorgeous. It's truly a feast. Growing up, this is a sort of meal that would be, you know, our big Easter meal, or if there's some big occasion. And when my husband and I first got together, you know, his family is Jordanian and they really take their lamb seriously. So I also learned quite a few tricks from my mother-in-law when it comes to seasoning and cooking lamb. We appreciate lamb here. We don't really eat meat very much on, you know, eating the Mediterranean way, but when we do, we really make sure it's flavored super well. This one big piece of lamb is going to serve a crowd. We're going in here with our potatoes. Potatoes be potato. Potato, onion. We're gonna season, you know, probably, I don't know, kosher salt, good amount, black pepper, good amount, all natural garlic powder, and then a hit of sweet Spanish paprika. There we go. And then a drizzle of extra virgin olive oil, because can't live without it. It's gonna help carry the flavor. It's gonna help you toss this party together. Toss, toss, toss. And now my veggies are pretty much ready for when my lamb is almost done. When it has about 1 more hour to go, I will go ahead and add these potatoes. Remember, our method here is a slow oven roasted lamb, so it's gonna be, you know, hours. This goes in just before the lamb is ready. All right, let's take a look, you guys. And I'm looking for fall apart tender lamb. That is ready, falls right off the bone with the touch of your fork. Let it rest, because as with all big cuts of meat, you want the juices to redistribute. Where I come from, we will put this whole thing on a nice large platter. We will not carve it ahead of time. It is supposed to be this big centerpiece right in the middle of your table. Just general rule, either serve it below done or super fall apart tender past the well done point. So that's where we are. That's what we did today. See that? Perfection. If you want to try another lamb recipe right here on the channel, definitely check out my Greek kleftico. It's a boneless leg of lamb, also worth you checking it out. I hope you've seen how easy it is to put together a gorgeous flavor-packed leg of lamb for your next big feast with the family. Grab the recipe for oven roasted leg of lamb with potatoes over on themediterraneandish.com. I will see you later. Ciao. Am I gonna have to share this?